This guy is about to find out why you don't mess with us boats. This strike is just the latest example of the US showing Iran and their proxies that they mean business. But this was more than just another kinetic strike. This was history in the making. The F-35C pilots of the Black Knights just pulled off a mission that won't be forgotten anytime soon. As soon as they get the all-clear to take off, the pilots push the throttle forward, igniting their afterburners. With nearly 40,000 pounds of thrust, their jets scream down the carrier's runway at roughly 170 miles per hour. These aircraft need every bit of power they can get because of what they're carrying, something that will make sure their target never fires another shot. It's officially called the Blue 109 bomb, but you might know it by a different name, the Bunker Buster. This 2,000 pounds bomb got its reputation for a reason. It can penetrate up to 8 feet of reinforced concrete, 20 feet of hardened rock, and 100 feet of soil. It does this thanks to a thick 1-inch steel casing and a hardened steel penetrator designed to drive deep before it detonates. The way it works is simple but devastating. When it hits the target, the impact sets off a time-delayed fuse anywhere from 25 to 100 milliseconds later. The bomb explodes underground, unleashing catastrophic damage. And for this mission, each F-35 is carrying 2 of them. But that's not all they're bringing. Next to the bunker busters are another set of bombs, the GBU-31 Joint Direct Attack Munitions, or DAMs. These start as standard Mark 84 general-purpose bombs, but with one big upgrade. If you look closely, you'll see a set of fins at the rear. These fins are part of a guidance kit that turns them from simple dumb bombs into GPS-guided precision weapons capable of steering themselves straight onto a target. So why are they carrying 2 bunker busters and not 4? Wouldn't the US want as much destructive power as possible? The answer lies in the target they're going after. For over a year, the Houthis have been launching a variety of anti-ship cruise missiles at both military and commercial vessels. But they don't keep these missiles out in the open. They're stored deep in the mountains inside caves, far away from the coast. When the Houthis get their firing coordinates, they pull the weapons out, launch them, and quickly retreat back inside for safety. 4 months. These rebels have been using 2 mountain strongholds along the border of the Marib and Al-Baida governorates. Between these bases, a bridge serves as a crucial supply line, moving fighters, equipment, and supplies to keep the missile launch sites operational. That's why the pilots are carrying a mixed loadout. First, they'll drop their bunker busters to punch through the underground defenses. Then, once they've cracked open the enemy's protective shell, they'll swing back around for another pass, this time using their dams. These high-explosive bombs pack almost 400 pounds more firepower than the Blue 109s, making them perfect for wiping out anything still standing. But while this sounds simple in theory, in practice it's anything but. The Houthis aren't just hiding, they're heavily defended. Thanks to Iranian support, they've built one of the most dangerous air defense networks of any non-state group in the world. Thousands of short dash, medium dash, and long-range weapons are scattered across their territory, creating a web of threats that no pilot can afford to underestimate. And if you think these defenses aren't capable of taking down an aircraft, think again. The Houthis have shot down around 50 drones and aircraft, including a Saudi fighter jet and an American Reaper drone. These guys aren't just lucky, they know what they're doing. For short-range targets, they have an arsenal of man-portable air defense systems, or MANPADS. This includes Soviet-era Igla missiles, hundreds of multi-barreled ZSU anti-aircraft cannons, and SA-7 missiles with a range of about 12 kilometers. These weapons are deadly for helicopters and low-flying aircraft, but they're practically useless against jets flying at 30,000 feet. That's why the Black Knights aren't worried about those. They're worried about the Houthis' medium and long-range air defenses. For medium-range threats, the Houthis rely on Iranian-supplied SA-2 missiles. These have a range of about 30 kilometers and carry a high-fragmentation warhead designed for area denial. The problem is, to actually score a hit, the pilots would have to dodge an overwhelming number of them coming in at once. But the real danger lies in the Houthis' long-range air defense weapons, particularly the Fader-1. This is a modified version of the Soviet S-75 missile system with a range of roughly 100 kilometers and a maximum altitude of 25 kilometers. This thing can ruin a pilot's day in an instant. While the Houthis don't have many of these, they don't need a lot. Just a few mixed in with less capable weapons can be enough to overwhelm or confuse a pilot long enough for one to strike. Fortunately for the Black Knights, their F-35s have some of the most advanced stealth technology on the planet, making these missiles almost useless against them. In aviation, a radar cross-section, RCS, determines how visible an aircraft appears on enemy radar. The larger the return signal, the easier it is to track and shoot down. But if your return signal is small enough, you might just blend into the background, appearing as nothing more than random clutter or a passing cloud. And the F-35C? It barely registers at all. According to publicly released data, the F-35C has an RCS of just 0.015 square meters. To put that into perspective, that's about the size of a golf ball. But this golf ball is flying at 30,000 feet and moving at Mach speeds. Good luck tracking, let alone hitting something like that. The reason it's so stealthy comes down to a combination of cutting-edge materials and designs straight out of a Tom Clancy novel. Every F-35 is coated in a thick layer of radar-absorbing paint. This special coating absorbs radar waves instead of reflecting them, making the aircraft appear almost invisible. On top of that, about 35% of the F-35 is made from composite materials which are far less reflective than metal. Think of a mirror. If you paint one black, it won't reflect light as well. The same principle applies here. Another key factor is the aircraft's shape. If you look closely, you won't find any sharp edges. That's by design. Sharp edges reflect radar waves, while smooth, curved surfaces scatter them. The entire airframe is built to ensure as little radar energy is reflected back as possible. All of these features combined make the F-35C one of the most elusive aircraft in the sky. But as incredible as its stealth capabilities are, the pilots won't have to rely on them alone. Because for the first time in naval history, a brand new secret weapon is joining their formation. If you were paying close attention during takeoff, you might have spotted what looked like an F-18 Hornet launching alongside the F-35s. But this wasn't just another fighter jet. This was an EA-18G Growler. And the Growler is carrying a brand new system that could be the key to keeping these pilots alive in the coming hours. If you look closely at the Growler, you'll notice long cylindrical objects mounted underneath it. These are jamming pods, and they're one of the most powerful tools in modern electronic warfare. Unlike the F-35s, the Growler isn't carrying bunker busters or dams. Instead, it's armed with AGM-88 high-speed anti-radiation missiles, HARMs. Missiles designed for one purpose: hunting and destroying enemy air defense systems. These specially designed missiles are built to lock onto enemy air search radars and obliterate them in seconds. This clears the path for the fighter jets, ensuring they reach the target without interference. But thanks to a new system, the Growlers no longer have to fire a single shot to accomplish this mission. Enter the ALQ-249 next-generation jammer, a revolutionary weapon that completely disrupts any attempt by the Houthis to target the F-35s. This system is light years ahead of its predecessor, the ALQ-99 jamming pod. Here's how it works. When a radar sends out energy, the number of wavelengths it transmits per second is called its frequency. The higher the frequency, the more detailed the return signal, which results in a clearer, more accurate detection. Anti-air radars typically operate in the medium frequency band, somewhere between 1 to 6 GHz, because this range balances accuracy with long-distance detection. That just so happens to be the exact frequency range the next-generation jammer was designed to disrupt. This is a massive improvement over the ALQ-99 because the new system can operate across a wider range of frequencies. More frequencies mean more enemy radars can be jammed. And once the jammer locks onto an enemy radar, it doesn't just interfere with it, it overwhelms it with a 250 kilowatt burst. To put that into perspective, that's the same amount of energy your house consumes in an entire week, packed into a single pulse aimed directly at the enemy's radar. This output is 10 times more powerful than the previous system, meaning that even radars designed to quickly change frequencies won't stand a chance. They'll be fried before they can adapt. After years of development, the U.S. Navy finally deployed the mid-band version of this jammer, and this is what the Growlers carried into battle on that mission. So how did this new technology perform? After taking off from the carrier, the two Growlers raced toward the Yemeni coast, scanning for Houthi air defense radars along the way. Any radar they detected had to be eliminated, and they were. According to media reports, the Growlers engaged and disabled multiple Houthi radar sites using the next-generation jammer. The exact number and types of radars taken down weren't disclosed, but at least one enemy team made the fatal mistake of illuminating their radar while the Growlers were prowling the skies. With their air defenses blinded, the Houthis at the mountain base continued their operations, completely unaware that in just a few minutes, the U.S. Marine Corps was about to shake things up. The first wave of F-35s released their bunker busters from several miles away in a carefully executed sequence. Each bomb fell into the crater left by the previous one, burrowing deeper and deeper into the mountain with every impact. As Houthi fighters scrambled for cover, the F-35s swung back around for a second strike, this time delivering a devastating payload of dams. More than 16,000 pounds of high-explosive ordnance rained down on the mountaintops. Local sources later reported at least 7 massive explosions, followed by a series of secondary detonations as the Houthis' anti-ship missiles were set off by the blasts. By the time the dust settled, the tops of both mountains had been completely obliterated. And what about the marine fighter pilots of the Black Knights? Thanks to the F-35's exceptional stealth capabilities, combined with the overwhelming electronic warfare power of the next-generation jammer, every single pilot made it back safely. In fact, they returned just in time to watch footage of their successful strike on CCTV while kicking back with pizza and wings, a Saturday night favorite for sailors at sea.